Have you ever noticed that everything changes the moment a man stops playing along? The moment he stops laughing at the jokes that aren't funny, stops chasing the attention that isn't returned, and stops entertaining the emotional games he never signed up for? Something unusual happens. Something most men never talk about, and most women never admit. This moment flips the entire dynamic. And ironically, it reveals truths hidden behind the smiles, the flirting, and the delicate dance of modern relationships. There is a silent expectation in today's dating world, a script many men unconsciously follow. Be agreeable. Be available. Be validating. Be predictable. And above all, don't challenge the emotional games, even if you see them clearly. Men grow up thinking that the only way to earn love is to comply. To be nice. To be flexible. To be endlessly patient. They believe that protecting her feelings is more important than protecting their own boundaries. And so they keep playing along. But something powerful happens when a man finally wakes up from that trance. When he stops responding to mind games, hot and cold behavior, silent treatments, attention traps, emotional teasing, and validation hooks. When he chooses self-respect over approval. Something shifts. The dynamic breaks. And for the first time, the mask on the other side begins to crack. Why? Because the game only works as long as someone agrees to play. When men stop entertaining these behaviors, women react. Not because they're bad. Not because they're manipulative. But because the entire unspoken system of power has been interrupted. It feels like losing control. Losing influence. Losing emotional leverage they didn't even realize they were using. Some women react with confusion. Why isn't he chasing anymore? Some react with frustration. Why isn't he doing what he used to do? And some react with genuine fear. Did I just lose someone who finally saw through everything? What's interesting is that most men don't stop playing out of anger. They stop because they wake up. They realize their emotional energy has value. Their time has value. Their attention has value. And they stop giving it away for free. This shift terrifies anyone who was benefiting from the old dynamic. Suddenly, the jokes that were once at his expense don't land anymore. The flirting that once kept him hooked doesn't work. The unavailability that once made him chase now pushes him away. The drama that once pulled him in now drains him. He is no longer a participant in her emotional theater. He has stepped outside the script. And she can feel the distance immediately. This is the moment that creates the strongest reactions. Because a woman who relied on emotional patterns now faces something she didn't expect, a man she can't control with subtle behaviors anymore. A man who thinks independently. A man who respects himself. A man who isn't afraid to walk away. But here's the twist. When men stop playing the games, two types of women emerge. The first type reacts with anger. She feels abandoned, rejected, or insulted. She accuses him of being cold, distant, or uncaring. She tries harder to provoke a reaction because any reaction, even negative, means she still has influence. The second type reacts differently. She reflects. She becomes more genuine. She drops the act. She shows up as a real human being instead of a strategist. Because deep down, she wasn't playing games to be cruel, she was playing games because she didn't trust vulnerability. And when the man stops engaging, she finally sees her own patterns clearly. This moment becomes a mirror. Men often underestimate how powerful their boundaries can be. We live in a world that tells men not to have them. Don't be too firm. Don't be too direct. Don't say no. But when a man finally asserts those boundaries, he discovers something shocking. Self-respect is attractive to the right women and threatening to the wrong ones. And you can see the difference instantly. A high-quality woman doesn't panic when a man stops playing games. She feels relieved. Because she wasn't interested in games either. She wanted honesty, maturity, and emotional clarity. But a low-quality woman, she feels exposed. Because without the games, she has nothing left to hide behind. Here's where the story gets even deeper. Most people don't realize that emotional games are unconscious. Many women don't even know they're doing it. They learned these behaviors from past relationships, social rewards, or environments where vulnerability wasn't safe. And men learned to tolerate it because they were conditioned to avoid conflict at all costs. So both sides play a role in maintaining a dysfunctional system. But the moment a man steps out of the system, everything rebalances. The emotional field resets. Suddenly, she can no longer depend on unpredictability to create desire. She can no longer depend on scarcity to create value. She can no longer depend on being difficult to create interest. She must show up authentically. And authenticity is something many people fear more than rejection. This is why the moment men stop playing along becomes so powerful, so disruptive, so emotionally charged. It forces truth to the surface. It reveals intentions. It exposes compatibility. It reveals who actually cares and who simply enjoyed the power. And it raises a burning question that every man must face: if the connection collapses when you stop entertaining games, was it ever real to begin with? If she only values you when you comply, is that love or convenience? If she respects your boundaries only when they benefit her, is that partnership or control? And if she becomes distant or angry the moment you stand up for yourself, what does that say about her emotional maturity? These questions create the climax of the story. Because once a man sees the truth, he can't unsee it. He starts noticing patterns he ignored before. He starts recognizing red flags he used to justify. He starts valuing his own emotional peace more than temporary validation. And for the first time, he begins to understand something profound. A woman's reaction to your boundaries reveals more about her character than her words ever will. Some women step up. Some women fall back. Some women disappear. And some finally show who they were the entire time. But for the man, this moment marks the beginning of a new life. A life where he doesn't play roles he never chose. A life where he doesn't perform for approval. A life where he speaks honestly, chooses intentionally, and walks away confidently. The moment a man stops entertaining the games, he becomes someone new, someone powerful, someone grounded, someone emotionally free. And the world around him reacts, because everyone feels the difference. So the real question is: what kind of man do you want to be? And what kind of reaction are you prepared to face? When you finally stop playing along?